everything. I'm like, damn, this shit really going how I planned it now. And then boom, I get kicked out of school.
Damn. So you got
You know, I went to 4 schools.
No, absolutely. We going yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm glad, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad that you went there that year.
yeah.
I went to the States because you was not there yet. So you had National Christian. How did you wind up faring? Like your team fared for that season? Did you guys have a very successful record?
Yeah, we was good.
Like it was a successful situation.
Oh, it was definitely successful.
And
We was real good.
And then you had the AAU to migrate.
Successful,
To
yeah. We was winning all year.
Okay. And if you could elaborate on why you got kicked out, what was going on with that? Was it something that was out of your hands, or?
Man, it was 2 incidents. One I can't even really talk about, and the other one was I got caught cheating on the exam.
Okay.
Last day of school, like a idiot. Get caught, and at the school that's like automatic expulsion if you get like caught on the last day of school because you can't get suspended. You get what I'm saying? So it's like automatic expulsion.
Yeah.
So got expelled, couldn't come back. I was sick. I just remember when they told me I couldn't come back, just crying in the car like, fuck I'm gonna do. I finally got it together, everything together. I'm like, now what I'm gonna do?
You felt like you found the footing.
I found everything I wanted. I was in. I'm like, now what's about to happen? What's about to happen?
So at this time, do you consult with your mom and Rollo, or is this more of a decision that you kind of...
In my whole circle, me, my mom, Rollo, I had another guy named Hani, Jamal, all my old heads, they remember. And I just remember Rollo and Hans and my mom come to pick me up from school, from National Christian, and we just sit in the car for like 20, 30 minutes. I was crying. I did not want to leave that school. I didn't want to leave the situation. I feel like I let them down. Yeah, it scared me because I was like, damn, what I'm going to do now? What I'm going to do now? And obviously, like at this time, I had built a name for myself. Now, like, I was starting to get out there, so other high schools was, once they found out, everybody wanted to know where I was going to go, but I wasn't even thinking about it at that initial time. I was just looking like, damn, I done fucked up.
Damn.
Yeah. Dude, the crazy thing is, though, mind you, I'm in school in D.C., Fort Washington, Maryland, D.C., what I call it, and I'm playing AAU with them, too. So, none of my homeboys now back home has seen me for a year. Almost a year, basically.
Right.
So I remember the first time I came home, when I got to come home in the summer and hoop.
Back right away.
Cause I'm in the city, I'm barely dunking, barely getting over the rim. I had got a little taller now.
Stronger.
Everything. Now I'm playing above the rim. Nobody had seen me. I don't know what the fuck, yo? Like, what was you doing down there? So it was like a crazy feeling, like, and I feel like I had owed everything to them for that. So I'm like, damn, I don't want to leave. But I just remember making the decision now, like, where I'm going to go. And Hani was the one, this was one of my other old heads. He like, yo, y'all might as well go to Lake. And I'm in my head at first, I just was kind of like, damn, like, go to a city school, like, Catholic League is where it's at, or independent school. I'm like,
you're just coming off an independent school.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know about this. But he was like, nah, I'm telling you, yo, it's going to work. For some reason, he just said it was going to work. And then so my mother was like, all right, Rollo was on board with it. Me and Tom was like, that's where we're going to go. And it's crazy. Another time, we did not know where we was going to go for school for a little while. School had already kind of started, too. Like, probably like a week in. Probably me and Tom missed the first week of school. I just remember. And I just remember when I was like, yo, we going to Lake. I'm like, yo, we going undefeated. I remember telling the reporter that before the season started, like, we going undefeated. Because I knew they team and who they had coming back. And I'm like, adding me and my brother. And I'm like, yo, I done just became this big time player, playing against all these guys, this schedule. I'm like, it's nothing in Baltimore that's going to stop me. Like, that's how confident I was. And now I had grew. Up until that point, I was like average height, everything. I wasn't that fast. I wasn't that athletic. And after that National Christian, like throughout the year, and then boom, that summer I grew. Probably went from like 6'2" to like 6'5".
Right.
Now I'm playing above the rim. And my game was already smooth, but now the height and the athleticism, now it look even crazier. So I'm like, I'm not losing. Like, I just remember saying that, and I just told my brother, like, when we come back, when we get in the city, I'm not losing to no team. Like, we're going undefeated. Because even at a young age, I understood, like, I'm like, if I'm going to come back to the city, I got to do something that nobody else is doing. I want to stand apart. That was my big thing back then. It was like, yo, I always want to stand alone where you can't say nobody name with mine. So I'm like, yeah, I can go there and dominate, but a lot of players put up numbers at schools. I said, what's going to make me different? Winning the city championship or state championship ain't enough. I got to do something that put me in red air. Like, yo, I got to go undefeated. I understand shit like that at 16, 17. Now, because now, like I told you, my mind didn't change. Now I'm studying the game. I'm studying the greats of basketball, whether it's local NBA player, college player. So I'm getting a better understanding. I'm having conversations about this. So now my knowledge is growing. I'm like, yo, if I want to be really known as that guy, I got to do something nobody else doing. So I'm going undefeated. I said this before the year. We get the late dominance. Dominant.
That was
28-0.
It was ridiculous.
28-0.
You said some of the players that came back. Cleveland was on that team.
Cleve Mel, my guy. Big loves to Cleve.
Man.
Big love. Cleve was dunking everything on niggas. Cleve dunked everything. Cleve went to
Not Dayton.
DePaul. One freshman of the year in the Big East.
Freshman of the year.
People don't talk about that.
Man, that's remarkable. He was nice.
Freshman of the year in the Big East, though.
Nice. He was nice.
How tough is that?
Very, very tough. I already know. I was on it.
That's crazy, though.
Nice.
People don't even talk about that, though. How hard that is to do, though. It's the Big East.
But you know, it's not a lot of talk that goes on, period,
Yeah.
around the town.
Yeah.
They don't talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they do, but it's not, you know,
Yeah.
people don't give it up like that. Yeah. But, man, that Lake year, you know, like you said, undefeated, one of the best years basketball-wise you've ever had in your life, just because of the marks you set personally and then the adjustment that you have to make.
Yeah.
Now you went through that year, you have another business decision to make. And I know you're in the city, now you kind of got reacclimated to the city, but your mind now is like on a whole other format. You start to think about, like you said, the rankings is there.
Yeah.
You've also kind of projected in the rankings yourself.
Yep.
So you have to carry it a certain way. Playing AAU, who you playing AAU with at this time?
So I told you the year before I played with my
National
school.
Christian?
Now I don't have an AAU team.
You don't have an AAU team at all.
So I got to make a decision.
Exactly.
That summer I had to make a decision.
Who'd you want to play with?
Be more elite.
Be more elite.
Yeah.
The white and yellow.
Yeah.
Jones,
Burgundy and yellow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when you had the headband on.
Yep. Nike circuit. Yep.
Nike circuit. So are you aware? Because I know this is when it kind of like shifts to that too, like the Nike circuits and the Adidas circuits and stuff like that. Did you kind of think about that before making the decision to play with Be More Elite, or was it just more or less you playing with them? Y'all was Nike, and that's
I had a lot of decisions to make. I mean, at that time, we went undefeated. Like I said, I already had momentum from National Christian, so a lot of people knew who I was. But once we went undefeated up late, and everybody see how my game had just transformed now. So I'm 6'6", 6'5", and it's just different now. So like, a lot of people wanted me to play AAU with them. I ain't know who I was gonna play with. And then, you know, at that time, usually all the Lake Clifton players played for Cecil Kirk. My brother wound up playing with Cecil Kirk, and I was gonna play But then I was just like, man, I need to play on this Nike circuit to keep trying to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish personally. And that was to keep getting my name out there, keep getting more schools, and become like a top 10 player in the country. And I'm like, I got to be on this Nike circuit. That's where the best players at, as far as their names and stuff. So I'm like, I got to play on this circuit.
Yeah.
Baltimore League.
It was very important at that time too. I mean, now it's kind of like, everybody knows that you gotta kind of be in certain situations. But back then, that was kind of the beginning of it. So I didn't know if you was involved in that or not.
Yeah.
But playing in that Nike circuit, going into your decision making, what were kind of the things that you had to do? Like, you had your team, obviously, but what was kind of some of the decisions that you had to make outside of that, like picking your next situation for school? Because you reclassed at the last year.
So
what was kind of decision making going into that?
So I knew I was going to have to go prep, but so once I made my AAU decision, I didn't think about, even though I knew I was going to have to go to prep school, I didn't start thinking about that towards like the end of the summer and stuff like that. Like, so I played AAU and all that, and then my AAU coach, everybody knew I had to go to prep school too, so prep schools was calling too. So all this shit is a whirlwind.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with who I'm playing AAU with first, what high school I go to, and then I got every college in America recruiting me. So I'm dealing with like all these decisions. So I always wanted to make a decision off a relationship. So obviously every prep school's calling, and Brewster called, and Big Drew had went there, and he had played AAU the year before with my AAU coach, Coach Bud.
Yeah, he mentions Coach Bud a lot.
Yeah, and Coach Bud was cool with them. Coach Bud was my coach. I had a relationship with Coach Bud, like I said. He had a relationship with Jason Smith. So I decided to go to Brewster.